It's Louisa. It's Monday, and I hope you're doing great. I want to do a trade review. I took an NQ trade, one trade this morning, 119 points, I think it was, and I just want to get into it. So, here we are on the 1 hour chart. 1 second here. Just to get an idea of the hierarchical framework that we are on the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we can clearly see that we are on the market maker sell side. And so here we have our buy side. Here we have our sell side. This is on the 1 hour. Here's our drawn liquidity above. We have rejected it 7 times. And then on Friday, price broke structure to the downside and formed a change in the state of delivery. Therefore, on the 1 hour, I was bearish today. Last night, so let's move down to, sorry, before we move down there, these are all of the BISIs. Sorry, excuse me. These are all of the BISIs that are on the buy side of the curve, and I'll be using these BISIs as price continues to drop down to my point of interest, which is sell side liquidity down here at 23,914 approximately. So let's move down to the 5 minute. We can take a look at what happened in Asia and London last night, and then I'll show you where I entered the trade. Now, I had a really, really poor entry. I mean, I'm embarrassed to show you my entry, but you know what? It is what it is. Okay. So last night, Asia did not range. It trended. And so you guys know, if you follow me, that I like to see Asia range, which means I like to see Asia do this. High, low, high, low, high, low, and it stays in a range. But we can see last night that Asia did not range, it trended. And what do I mean by trended? Well, trended means started here and it finished up here, right? So we didn't get that nice engineering of liquidity. London then opened and had a continuation higher. And so when we look at the left side of price action from Friday, we have this 1 hour SIBI here. And if I just pull this across, we can see that this SIBI was a clear target for price overnight. So London came up, our AM 90-minute first AM cycle, and then our AM second cycle came in just above the 50% of this SIBI. Now, I was hoping it would get to an OTE, which would be 62 to 79% of this range. So this is the range that I am looking at from here to here. And my OTE would be between 62. Oh, it did come to 62. Okay, it came to exactly 62%. I was hoping it would come a little bit higher, but it didn't. So in anticipation of us being on the sell side of the cycle, I was looking for a short this morning. So I just patiently watched price move up all evening, and I was very happy to see that, because I know when I want to go short that this is going to be a good potential trade for me, if I can put it that way. So now let's look on the 5 minute. We had this very nice bearish candle down after we crossed the 50% of this SIBI. And let's move down into the 2 minute. That's as far as I went, was down into the 2 minute. That is a time frame that I like to trade on. So what did we have? I'm going to move this SIBI across just so that you guys can see a little better what my entry model is. So when price comes into a point of interest at a time, which is my macro, then I move down to the smaller time frame and I'm looking for my entry. My entry will be one of two entries. It will be a smart money reversal or a continuation. Because I know we're on the sell side of the market, I'm anticipating a sell position. So let's make this as big as I can make it for you guys. So here we have this nice green candle show some strength and come up to the 9:30 open price, and that's at 25,407, and that time is at 9:28. Now I am looking for my model at 9:45, but I'm very patient to wait after the 10 o'clock 4-hour candle opens. The second candle that forms, this black candle here, is a very strong downward candle, and that shows me that there's weakness. So on the 2-minute, we have a breaker block. I'm going to show you what this is. We have a high, then we have a low, a higher high, and a lower low. So we've got a bearish breaker. Where do we put the bearish breaker? Well, we have the high and the low. So we take these 3 black down close candles here and we put a box around it. That's our our bearish breaker. Then we have a change in the state of delivery, which is right here. I'm going to make this a little bit larger so you can see it. What is a change in the state of delivery? It is the candle or the series of candles that results in the push of the green candle up, the highest candle. So the bottom of this black candle here is my change in the state of delivery. The next thing I'm looking for is an inverted fair value gap. I have an inverted fair value gap right here, that on my chart. I watch price push down and it's a beautiful displacement down. It comes right back up into this SIBI on the 2-minute. Now this should have been where I should have entered, to be honest. And I had a terrible entry. Like, I'm embarrassed to show you this, but it was a terrible entry. This is where I should have entered, but I did not. And I think for me it's a Monday and I was really waiting for confirmation. Let's move down to the 1-minute. We get a little bit of a better look at what was happening here. So we had some very, very strong candles. So this should have been my entry and I missed that entry. I'm going to open up the entries now so you can see I took one trade and I'll show you where my entry was. My entry was down here. See how bad this is? Right here. Now, price entered the SIBI and had a beautiful displacement down again. Price came back into the SIBI, and this should have been my entry, my safer entry right here. And I don't know why I hesitated. You know, I have my model. I just really shouldn't think about it. It's very mechanical for me. Now at this time, it is 9:44. So I think up here, I think my rationale was it was still before my macro. It was 9:36. So I think that's, excuse me, I think that's why I hesitated. My God, I'm so sorry, guys. I have like a frog in my throat or something. Anyway, so I missed this second safe entry here, but by the time I got down to here, I realized my mistake and I entered the trade. So I entered at 25,289. At that point, the time was 9:44. And again, price is just doing what it should be doing, which is displacing down, coming back up into a SIBI, displacing down, coming back up. So we have breaker blocks all the way down, right? We have a high, low, higher, high. And then we have a, a low, high, low, high, low. Then a low, high, low, low, high, low. You guys get the gist. Those breaker blocks, man, they are like the best thing I ever learned from ICT. They're so strong. So where was my point at which I was targeting to get out of the trade? Well, let's go back up to the 5-minute for a second because it's kind of easier to see. I am looking at Asia low, and then I'm looking at previous week low. By that point, the 4-hour candle had opened up, and this is the 10 o'clock 4-hour candle. And the reason I love to have this candle on my chart is because if price is going to go lower, the candle is going to open with a wick. It's going to open high, low, and then close. So as soon as we got this little, it was a little tiny wick when the candle opened, and then I knew that price was going to expand lower, which it did. I exited at below the previous week low. I was watching ES, and that's exactly where ES was as well. Now, I just want to go back to the hourly chart for a second again, because I think price is going to drop a lot more. This is not advice, but I'm just making this observation here that if we go back to the hourly and we look at the buy side of the curve, we're going to follow the sell side using the BISIs that took us up the curve. And so you can see that price has already come down into this hourly. It rejected, but price is very weak. And this red line here on my chart, this is the 50% of the monthly wick. Now, if you guys were in my analysis, Sunday analysis, we talked about that and we had this on the chart. And this is, I think, a very strong magnet for price right here. So, so I've got this on my chart. I'm anticipating price coming down here. It doesn't have to do so today. It could, do it later this week. It could do it this afternoon. I don't know, but I'll be watching price and I'll be using my BISIs from this side of the curve to act as a stepping stone for price wanting to move down. Again, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment. This is my own personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor. If you like this video, if you get any value from my videos, please like, share, and subscribe, because it really does help me reach more traders who might be looking for a model that could work for them. And if you take a look at my playlist from yesterday, I'll take you through the setup and why I was anticipating a short for today. Anyway, that's everything, guys. I hope you're doing great, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Okay, take care. Bye for now.